Good morning, everyone. Today we're back at Universal Studios Hollywood for a massive Halloween Horror Nights update, and that music is blasting, so let's head inside and find a quiet spot. We are inside the Carl Laemmle Courtyard, right across from Hollywood Dine inside Universal Studios Hollywood, where we're here for a massive Halloween Horror Nights update. This week, the park announced all houses and the theme for the Terror Tram coming to this year's Halloween Horror Nights. And we visited Midsummer Scream, the Halloween and Horror Convention, weekend prior, and got some additional information on Horror Nights that they did not share. So we're going to put some of that video footage in and give you all of that information. But our first update starts here in the Carl Laemmle Courtyard, where there will be a Peacock Halloween-themed bar. So Peacock is the NBC Universal streaming service, Halloween-themed, and they are going to have drinks from Chucky and The Purge. Now, during Midsummer Scream, John Murdy, Mr. Halloween Horror Nights himself, said that there would be some photo opportunities with the Bride of Frankenstein and some other characters. I noticed in the description for this area it said monster meet and greets, so could that be?
So it was full prosthetic makeup to get that burned look. It's probably an hour in the chair, a little bit longer. Seems like you should get an opportunity to see that, doesn't it? We're gonna do a little something. We've been doing more and more of what we call these character interactions, just like places where you can discover a character where you normally wouldn't find one. So keep your eyes peeled this year at Horror Nights. You might just run into the bride.
And just across the way at Hollywood and Dine, there is going to be an overlay for Halloween Horror Nights, a Chucky-themed barbecue restaurant with all sorts of Halloween-themed items. So looking forward to that too. No word if it's going to be open during the day or just at night, but that is a busy location, so I assume you'll be able to try some of those treats during the day. There has been no announcement made about entertainment for this year, although the website said the announcement is coming soon. Now, the theater that held the Jabberwockies, which was a special effects stage, and then next to it the Animal Actor stage, have both been torn down to make way for a new Fast and Furious roller coaster. So my guess is there is no Jabberwockies this year. But in years past, way back in the day, Waterworld had an evening overlay called Slaughter World. So could that be coming back? Comment below if you think we're going to see that this year. Of course, the entry plaza is always a scare zone. It has not been named yet, but we can expect something here. There's been rumors of a roaming Megan horde. Could that be? Here on Minion Way and Pets Place, we know the location of another house. Although the actual locations of each house have not been announced, we believe this is going to be Evil Dead Rise. This was the former location of the Walking Dead attraction, and during Horror Nights, they usually use this area as a massive queue line, so probably no scare zone here this year. We're coming up on our second house, and this one is completely confirmed, and we have a bunch of exciting information and video clips to share with you from Monsteros. This is a confirmed location. This is Monsteros, the Legends of Latin America. It is based on 3 Latin American kind of horror legends. We'll let John Murdy explain the 3 monsters that you can expect to see in this house based on those legends, plus a brand new character that they created just for the event.
The Legends and Myths of Latin America at Halloween Horror Nights continues with Monstruos, the Monsters of Latin America. This is an all-new haunted house that features 3 infamous monsters, or monstruos, which is Spanish for monsters. Let's meet the monstruos. We'll start with our first one, and this is Tlahupuchi. And it's really interesting because it's a witch, but it's also a vampire. You don't know when you're a little kid that you're a Tlahupuchi until you reach like puberty. And then things start to change. Yes, they do. Tlahupuchi has to do a very, very specific ceremony, and then it transforms into one of a series of animals. But the most common one is a turkey vulture. And it flies to the house of its victim, and it sucks the blood out of them. There's an old woman who lives in a village. She's the kind of old woman that people whisper about, and people become convinced that she's a witch, so they put her to death. But she comes back as La Lechuza. So she's a combination old woman and a witch. But one thing that it does is late at night, if you're in your house and you hear a baby crying, don't go outside. And that brings us to our third and possibly last monster. El Saban, which translates to the Whistler, is from the Los Llanos region of Colombia, Venezuela. So there's a boy, which is really like a late teenager boy, living on a farm. He falls in love with a woman that the father does not approve of. The father tells him to get rid of this woman, but he's in love and he doesn't get rid of him. So one day the father comes into the barn and he catches the boy and the girl, and he flies into a rage and he murders the girl. Kills her right in front of the son. The son flies into a rage and murders his father. And then granddad comes home sees what's been done, and he takes the boy out to the field, ties him to a post, whips him repeatedly with a whip until the flesh falls off his back. Then he takes like limes and like tequila and pours it in the wounds. And if that wasn't bad enough, then he sets wild dogs upon him that rip him to shreds. And as this horribly mutilated guy is stumbling towards the woods, the grandfather comes up to him and hands him the sack of his father's bones, his murdered father's bones, and says, "You are condemned for all time to carry the bones of your murdered father on your back." And then eventually this creature comes out of the woods that is now known as El Saban. And it's a towering creature. Some say he's like 10, 12 feet tall. Really, really skinny, carrying the bones of his murdered father on his back. Now, for the finale of this house, after you've gone through all these different layers, we wanted to do something really special. I found this statue. It's crazy, but it's this huge, towering statue. But when I was looking at it, I thought, oh, that's cool. With the bones like spilling out of the sack. Because another thing El Saban does is, let's say he's walking through your village late at night. He might stop in front of your house. He might sit down that giant sack of bones, and then one at a time, uno, dos, tres. He'll just sit there and count every single bone to make sure he has them all. We thought, after El Saban has gone through this village and killed like everybody in sight, his sack has got to be pretty big by this point. In fact, it's got to be enormous. And wouldn't it be cool if you had to go into that sack of bones? And what would you find there?
We hope you enjoyed that look at the monsters that you can see here in this house in the Parisian courtyard on the upper lot. We don't want to give it all away. John Murdy saved some surprises, so you got to come check it out when the event opens. Now let's take a look at the facade. The facade is incredibly detailed, and it was actually inspired by photos that Murdy and his team researched. He'll give you a little explanation here. Now we're just giving you clip bits that are a little bit sped up. The presentation was a little over an hour, and we cut that down and put an entire video up. So I'll put a link to that video and presentation down in the description. Let's take a look.
I did endless research, pulled hundreds and hundreds of images, but these two images in particular really stuck with me. And they're graveyards in Mexico. One's from Guadalajara, one's from Guanajuato. But I really liked, in the long kind of rectangular image, that Gothic Mexican architecture of that mausoleum. We thought that was a really cool element. And then the other one that I really liked was the idea of these sealed crypts that you see in the other image. So we created this place that we call the Cemetery of the Lost. And the idea here is that this is the place where every one of the victims of these monsters are buried. And it is a forsaken, condemned place that you do not go at night, because there's all these rotting skeletons of all the people that are buried inside that you have to go through. When we came up with this idea for the cemetery, we thought, well, this is cool. This will be like the portal that you go through that transports you to all the world of these different monsters. So this is when you step through that crypt. We thought it would be cool to create our own original character to add to this mix. And this character would be like the narrator of the experience. So we just call him Muerte, which is Spanish for death. And he is going to be the guy you meet out in front. He's the pre-show, if you will, for this haunted house. He's going to be telling you the story about these three monsters.
Here in Universal Plaza, they've got Fast 10 and the cars out, but as soon as Horror Nights opens, this will be transformed into a Dia de los Muertos Plaza with roaming characters, a lot of props. There will be a taco bar, mixed drinks, all sorts of things up here. So make sure you check this out. And it's going to coincide with Monstruos, and French Street is going to be transformed into a scare zone themed to kind of fake 1950s Mexican horror films with all brand new characters we've never seen before. It looks like some of the props have already started to be put up. So Murdy in his presentation explained how his creative team had to come up with all these fake movie posters to fit the zone. Very, very cool. Looking forward to seeing this. So this area, tentatively, I believe, is going to be called El Terror de los Momias, based on 1950s Mexican fake horror films. And again, all these posters that we're seeing are all made up by the creative team. While everyone runs to Super Nintendo World, the rest of the park is completely empty. If all the movie posters look similar, that's because it's kind of a play on sequel. So all those posters are based on one movie with a million sequels. Murdy explained that too, so check out that full presentation. We just checked in on the construction of the new Fast and Furious roller coaster, where animal actors and the special effects stage used to be. It looks bizarre not seeing anything there. Really weird, and they're chopping down the trees on the hillside because the track is actually going to go on the hillside around that Universal City sign that you can see from the freeway and the valley down below. Here on the Terror Tram, we found out the theme. It is Exterminatorz, where you get to meet Larry Larva. In addition to that, you'll get to walk past the Psycho House, through the War of the Worlds set, and through the new Nope set that was built last year from the new Jordan Peele movie. Let's head on to the tram really fast and see if we can see any construction.
Trust me. I can't wait for you to see this. Hey, I gotta go. I'll see you on the other side.
The Universal Studios Hollywood
Are you tired of humans? Are you sick of being stepped on, squashed, swatted, and sprayed?
Is this guy for real?
Then call Exterminatorz, the #1 name in human pest control. Did you know 90% of all my forces on this planet are insects? We outnumber humans a billion to 1. Humans don't stand a chance.
Stop the tram!
Oh, we're just getting started.
You'll be dropping like flies. Terror Tram, the Exterminatorz.
There is no one in line. We just got off the studio tour and was able to see some construction. So there are 4 houses on the lower lot behind Super Nintendo World. We'll put in some of the video there. We know Stranger Things is going into stage 15. We also know The Last of Us is going facing the Starway, so we couldn't see that. But the other 2 houses, we could see a little bit of construction. On the back lot, we saw them building for the Terror Tram around the Psycho set and War of the Worlds, so we'll edit in all that video too. Nope is reopened. That was closed for a while. They were doing some upgrades there, so you'll actually get to walk through that as well. I noticed they put in a new accessible pathway to get on the tram too, with a brand new wall. So that's some new construction. So we'll edit in all that video, then let's go back up the stairs, check out the construction on the lower lot from the Starway. During Halloween Horror Nights this year, Hogsmeade and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, along with the rides, will be open, and they have added the Death Eaters again. Now, the Death Eaters have been here during the summer, and they are really, really cool to see. So it'll be a scare zone within the Wizarding World. If you'd like to see what the Death Eater experience looks like, we'll also put a link to that video down in the description. We were here opening weekend for that. Just past the exit of Forbidden Journey is a gate that is normally closed to guests. So you see a team member going back there right now. These will open up during Halloween Horror Nights for 2 different houses. The first is Universal Monsters Unmasked and Chucky Ultimate Kill Count.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boom. Yeah, that's right. I'm back. And I'll see you suckers at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights.
An all-new haunted house inspired by the hit USA sci-fi series Chucky.
I can't wait to play.
Some information on Universal Monsters that John Murdy gave us, and the music in that maze is done by Slash that we're going to play for you at the end, so make sure you stick around to the end of the video. We were able to see a little bit of construction on those houses behind the Wizarding World, which is Chucky. We can see the facade. It is a Chucky doll box, and then the Universal Monsters, John Murdy told us the front is actually a newspaper cover, so we were able to see that too. The angle was just a little strange.
We dead welcome you to our world of shadow, knowing soon you will be one of us.
The Universal Monsters Legacy Halloween Horror Nights continues. It's a giant-sized reproduction of an English-language French newspaper, and where you see the blank spots, both on the facade where it's a different color, and also on that graphic, that's where the illustrations that I just showed you go. People on the internet, this is a ticket booth, it's a ticket booth. It's not a ticket booth. It's a French newspaper stand. And sitting behind that is an animated skeleton figure that we call Madame Squelette. Squelette is French for skeleton. We thought, oh, it'd be cool if one of the dead, one of the 6 million dead that are in these catacombs, is actually telling you this story. So that's the voice you heard that I was playing earlier. She's narrating the story, setting it up for you. Lucas's artwork is changing on the newspaper, so we get to do a little bit of a pre-show before you go inside.
Could this be early Horror Nights fog? I think it's just bleeding over from Wizarding World. As we make our way down to the lower lot to check on the house construction, you can see the work being done for the new roller coaster going in. Behind the Universal City sign, they're chopping down a lot of those trees to make way for those roller coaster supports. On the lower lot, there will be 4 houses. A few of them we can see, the others we can't. So right below us here where this construction is, and I'll zoom in after I stop speaking, is The Last of Us, based on the video game, not the TV show. Let's take a closer look.
Guys, I'm telling you, it's real.
Why are you so obsessed with this universal legend?
You'd think I'd be used to them by now.
Thanks for paying attention, Jordy.
Sorry.
All right, just skip to exactly 32 seconds in the video
Jeez, another conspiracy theory? There's no hidden stuff in the park.
Hey, are you guys seeing this?
Step into the world of The Last of Us.
Also on the back lot, you can see another house being built there between stage 16 and 14. That's either going to be Holidayz in Hell or Exorcist Believer.
This week, we'll be talking about a conspiracy over 2 decades in the making. We'll uncover the truth about what's really going on at Halloween Horror Nights. The signs are everywhere, hiding in how many times have you gone?
Drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop.
What the?
The Exorcist Believer.
And on the studio tour, we were able to see the front of stage 15, and the doors were not open today, but that will be Stranger Things 4.
Thanks for paying attention, Jordy.
Sorry.
All right, just skip to exactly 32 seconds in the video.
Jeez, another conspiracy theory? There's no hidden stuff in the park. Let me text Jordan. Okay, I gotta go. Ava's almost here.
Escape Vecna's curse. Stranger Things.
Just an FYI, during Horror Nights, Super Nintendo World will not be open, but the Mummy, Transformers and Jurassic World will be, in addition to the 4 houses and the rides down there, there will be a few themed bars and restaurants. Let's go take a look to see if any work is being done on those right now. Actually, I can see from right here where the 80s Stellar Bar is supposed to be. It does not look like it's set up. It's probably upstairs. Somebody's very excited for Super Nintendo World. The top of Jurassic World was a bar last year. I think that's where the 80s Stellar Bar is going to be. And also down there, there is going to be Surfer Boy Pizza and Scoops Ahoy from Stranger Things. The only update left to see is the work being done on a new, we believe, a food location right there on New York Street. Let's check that out, and then we'll look at the merch. So we have a little construction here. We believe this is going to be a new food venue. This, back in the day, was a candy shop and a bunch of different other things. Gabby's cab has been moved over by the Universal Store, and the couple that are usually in the window were down on the ground, so you can still say hello to them. That is it here from Universal Studios Hollywood, our huge mega update for Halloween Horror Nights. We now know all of the houses. We know one of the scare zones. We know all of the theme bars and restaurants. What we don't know is the rest of the scare zones and what the entertainment may be. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel with that notification bell turned on for all the updates and opening day coverage and coverage from all the haunts across Southern California. So you definitely want to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and follow us on social media for additional updates on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Threads now. Although I keep forgetting to post on there. So let's go take a quick look at the merch that's out already and then head on out. Thanks for watching. Oh, and I promised you that audio clip from Slash from the Universal Monsters house. That'll be right after the merch. Thanks for watching.